how are you finding that imperfect imbalance of life where you're able to do the things you love and also like mix it with business? Are you finding it loosening a little bit? Are you finding that you've balanced it decently well, or are you just absolutely failing at that and learning as you go like everything else we do?
I keep telling myself, you need better balance. You need better balance. And that's a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. And then I sit in this chair, Scott, and I haven't found it. And I think my perspective is changing, candidly. I used to tell myself and tell others, I need to find better balance. I need to find a better balance between Lemon Perfect and everything else. And Scott, it's not realistic. It's not realistic. We have 91 incredible people. Many of them have families. I have over 300 investors. We've raised $99 million. And then we have a product that can impact the health of the American consumer and eventually way beyond that. And so when you think about my birdie, let's call it 3 main birdies. One, giving our people the best professional experience of their lives and changing their futures. Whether that means their financial futures, because every single person here has upside on what we're building. If we or when we win, they win big. Their happiness, right? By waking up every day and being at a place where they feel valued, where they feel like they're building something that can be really magical, right? So the burden of our people, the burden of having our people feel like they're on a trampoline of growth, right? We want them to jump higher every day, every week, every month, every year. But let's just say 1 burden is our people. 2, our capital partners. I think I'm crazy enough. I want to do this one more time. And so winning and being acquired or finding our way to liquidity, very, very important. As important as anything. I have an expression that I talk about all the time. I say, there are 2 ways out of this office for me. 1's in a box and 2's with some coins in my pocket. And Scott, it better be number 2. And if it's number 2, all of our investors feel really, really good from an outcome perspective.
And your employees.
And our people, for sure. And then 3, and as I go through this journey, as I take another step, I'm probably more committed than anything else to changing the way that America drinks water, to removing millions and millions of pounds of sugar out of the American diet, right? If we consider that water being hydrated is one of the absolute pillars of good health, if we consider that sugar is one of the most destructive roots of good health, well, Lemon Perfect becomes the perfect solve. And that is an incredible burden for me, an opportunity at the same time, is that we have a product that delivers real joy in every sip, but is also making people healthier by being a great trade out for whatever they're drinking right now, whether it's plain water or whether it's a high sugar drink of any kind. And so for me, how can I have great balance? Or how can I talk about being balanced when I have such burden on me with our people, with our investors, and with our current consumers and future consumers that have never even heard of Lemon Perfect at this point? So I have a dear friend and an investor, Jim Rowley. He's the CEO of Crunch Fitness. And they just wrote a Forbes piece on him, and the lead was balance is bullshit. And for the longest time, I tried to convince myself that I need better balance. And yes, you need to prioritize working out. You need to prioritize spending time with your loved ones, those that you love, those that love you. Very, very important. Mental health, all very important. But Scott, watching Netflix instead of thinking about Lemon Perfect, that's bullshit. And I'm just being very transparent.
Yeah.
My psychology, it is what it is. It's not for everyone, but that's how I'm wired. And I'm not going to change because maybe the world says, oh, you have to have great balance. Yes, I want our people to have great balance. I want most of our people. Our executives can't have great balance because they have outsized upside versus everyone else.
Risk reward.
No question. This is not for everyone. And I say that all the time. It takes an uncommon man or woman to build something magical in this world of beverage. Right? I can't speak for other businesses because I've never done it before. I can only speak for building a beverage brand from zero to winner. And by winner, I mean acquisition.
Right.
Eventful, an event, a positive event, liquidity event. I also mean consumption, right? I don't care where I am, what street corner I'm on. I want to see someone drinking Lemon Perfect. So there's that too, right? So there's ubiquity of there's scale and ubiquity, and then there's the exit and that outcome. So that's what winning looks like, right? It's kind of a duality.
Yeah.
But it is important to bifurcate that our people, right? Like it is important that most of our people, find that balance. We talk about sprint rest. That concept I do talk about a lot. But there are certain people in this organization where that gets thrown out the window. And that's just the facts. And no one more so than me. And I'm not gonna walk on glass about it. It is just what it is.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that if you look at the most successful entrepreneurs, they're out of balance. Look at the beverage entrepreneurs that have won. Mike Rapoli, Body Armor, Vitamin Water, Ben Weiss at Buy. I know them both. These are not people that have any kind of balance. They might now, after they've been successful, right? I think I'm looking forward to that. But not while you're building it.
Right.
So there's my life and Lemon Perfect are like this. That's what it looks like. This right there, and there's no airspace. I mean, it's just. I wake up in the morning, and I'm very fortunate that I create what my calendar looks like. There's that freedom that's incredible, right? Tonight, there's Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals, Mavericks, Timberwolves, and
what a game!
I'm gonna go watch it. Like, I have the freedom, and if I'm not doing this, but if I wanted to get on a plane tomorrow night and go to Florida or go to California or go to Nevada or where, I've spent more time with my dad as he's gotten older. I'm going to see him not this weekend, but next weekend. If I wanted to just go up there this week, I have the freedom to do that.
Right.
If I wanted to go tomorrow with 9 things on my calendar, I could cancel them all and just go. Right? Or I could take them from a car and no one would look at me. So I love the freedom of that. But with that freedom also comes incredible responsibility. And
with all freedom comes incredible responsibility. It's a great point.
yeah, and so and but you can't have it all. You can't have great freedom and balance, and I just don't think you can have it all. I think you have to, not when you have the level of responsibility that I have, I feel like, on my shoulders. It's a big one. It's a big one. I want to make everyone, I want 500, 600, 700 winners in this thing, right? Our investors, our people, everyone, that all of our internal and external stakeholders. And so, how would you feel if I was spending my time
watching Netflix?
Yeah. That's just, think about that, right? Look, obviously, a little Netflix here and there, right? Right. But so I'm talking in the general sense.
Understood.
I think it's like on Saturday morning, I'm going to go walk on the Beltline. I'm going to put my AirPods in, and I'm going to, and I'm going to make phone calls, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to, right? But, I'm not spending my whole day, sitting out, doing this, doing that, right? Like it's all in service to our people, our investors, and our current and future consumers.
It's a perfect answer. At the end of the day, there's two comments I have. Comment number one is, you will never meet a championship level team. You will never meet a great company that didn't sacrifice something. There are times during the weekends where, all jokes aside, I will look at my wife and be like, why is our son not going out? Why is he not doing other things? I'm like, Adrian, he's actually so focused at trying to win something. What did we do in high school? We did not get to that level because we chose to do all the other bullshit things that they're choosing not to do. So the reality is, the choices you're making today, the first comment are, you're trying to build a championship level company. And when you build a championship level company, it requires great sacrifice. The second comment that I will say is, we have to get comfortable with imbalance. That's the point. When I created the life model, love, impact, faith, and energy, you could put your lemon perfect right in the middle of that entire model, because when you think about it, you love the people you're working for, and you're working for them. This is the misconception. They think like, they don't work for us. You work for them. You're building something that all the people you serve will profit from, will win with. Impact. Your impact is to change the way people drink water. You're believing in something bigger than yourself. And most importantly, how you show up to the world is important. What I started doing when I felt like I needed more balance is, I started brain dumping in each of those categories. Who's suffering because I'm putting too much into my company or my life or my business? Who's suffering that I care about? What do I need to change? Impact. Is my impact actually doing what I think it is? Is it actually impacting? Am I making the change that I think I am, or is it bullshit? Where am I failing? What do I need to fix? For faith, something bigger. For me, it's God. But at that point in time, I'd be like, hey, am I actually remembering where I came from? Am I getting ahead of myself? Is the ego taking over? And last, how am I showing up? Is my health good? And so it was actually getting comfortable with the balance and with the imbalance, prioritizing the areas of imbalance that were the most glaring, that needed to be fixed. And that would, so if you're not sleeping but 4 hours a night, and you're not winning, and you're not having the impact that you want, and it's moving slow, well, the first thing we have to change is, I've got to sleep longer. I've got to figure out a way to sleep longer and rest. So that's how I have run that model. I've taught that model. I believe in it. It helped me build the company. It most importantly helped me reshuffle my life, where I started to feel like I was going too far, because the burdens that you talked about, the word itself is powerful, but the burdens you talked about are extremely impactful.
And Scott, I think that's a great point of clarification just on sleep. So when I talk about balance, I'm talking about waking hours.
Yeah.
I one of my my real pillars is sleep. So I am 8 hours a night, 7.5, 8. And then the 16 that I'm up, those aren't well balanced, quote unquote.
Yeah, of
so
course.
I do want to make that point of clarification. Just now, again, everyone's some can operate at a high level on 6, some need, but it's a my imbalance comes in my waking hours, not my sleeping hours. So point of clarification.
It's great. Ultimately, listen, if you look, there are different levels of greatness. There are different levels of companies. Michael Jordan and Elon Musk are in line with greatness, right? Michael still looks pained when he rests just in an interview. He looks pained. He's like, I could be doing something different. I could be playing golf. I could be gambling on something really important, whatever it is, right? Elon doesn't like rest. Everyone that works for Elon, they're like, we never get breaks. It's crazy. But Elon's developing things that satellites in space where the internet can work from any van in the middle of Wyoming. Like, there are things that happen because you put greatness into the result that you're aiming for. And I think that's what you described, and that's what you're talking about. If you like clips like this, I have a similar clip here. And if you want to watch the full video, click here.